What's going on, guys? Jake here. We got some Anthem news this week. Let's talk about it. So I'm going to be kind of freestyling here. Don't have a script. This is the first time I'm going to try something like this. Usually I'm most comfortable when I have like a long list of words in front of me that I can read, but I'm going to try not to do that. So let's get through this. So yesterday, some news broke from Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg that some executives over at EA are sitting down with some management from Bioware, and they are trying to decide whether or not to keep Anthem on life support. Bioware has been working on Anthem 2.0, dubbed Anthem Next, for the last 2 years. This is basically their attempt to sort of breathe life back into Anthem, to sort of bring it back to life. It's going to be supposed to be the sort of the Taken King, if you're familiar with Destiny. It's supposed to be sort of the Taken King of Anthem. We've gotten a few sort of tidbits about what they're sort of working on. I know I saw some UI updates. It looks like they are sort of incorporating more elements of Destiny. But in terms of like the big meat and potatoes of what we're going to get with this expansion, I haven't seen a whole lot. And I think that's sort of what needs to happen in terms of like they need to sort of let us peer behind the curtain to see whether or not this thing is even worth carrying on. So anyway, let's get to the news here. So Electronic Arts to decide fate of Anthem game this week. Anthem, a multiplayer game by EA-owned developer Bioware, launched in February 2019 to poor reviews. In the following months, Bioware put together a small team to overhaul the game. Executive producer Christian Daly wrote 3 blog posts last year outlining some of the big changes planned, but in December, Daly left the Anthem team as part of Bioware management shakeup, leaving the project's fate in question. This week, EA executives will review the latest version of Anthem Next and decide whether to expand the team or abandon the project altogether, said the people who asked not to be named, discussing private information. The Anthem Next team includes about 30 people, Bioware said last year. People familiar with the project said it would need to expand to at least triple that in order to produce new content and continue attempting to overhaul the game. EA has not indicated whether it's willing to commit that kind of budget to revive a maligned game. And he concludes, in the video game industry, second chances aren't unheard of. Games like No Man's Sky and Final Fantasy XIV turned around rocky launches with consistent updates and patches. CD Projekt SA's recently released role-playing game Cyberpunk 2077 is hoping to follow a similar redemption story. All right, so let's talk about that. Should Bioware continue to dump time and energy and resources into Anthem Next? I posit absolutely the fuck not. I like Anthem. I enjoyed aspects of it when I played it. I think that there are things to sort of latch onto in terms of the javelins flying around and certain combat systems that I think were fun. There are things about Anthem that I would want to see incorporated in other games. I think that Bioware could absolutely pour more time and more energy and more resources and make Anthem, quote, good again. Like we've seen that enough times with these games that we know that it's possible. However, I think it's more of a potential liability than it is a potential success story for Bioware. And the reason why I say that is because Bioware, right, is sort of on thin ice, I think, with gamers and investors in terms of recent releases for that studio. We know that Mass Effect Andromeda, not a huge success. We know that Anthem, not a huge success. A lot of the core leadership that has been at Bioware have left. Bioware is sort of in a really weird state right now. They're counting on Mass Effect Legendary Edition to win over a lot of goodwill from fans, but they also need Dragon Age 4 to be that needs to hit it out of the park. The success of Bioware doesn't hinge on Anthem being good. It hinges on Dragon Age 4. Bioware, if they're smart, needs to be putting all hands on deck on any future releases like right now. And besides all of that, it just sort of feels like Anthem's time in the sunlight is kind of done. Like that ship has sort of sailed. Even if they release a semi-successful update for Anthem, the thing that No Man's Sky and Destiny and Final Fantasy XIV and all these games had that Anthem doesn't is a player base, an active, hardcore player base that's still following the game. And I could be wrong. In fact, let's go to the Anthem subreddit right now, and let's just see. Store rotation 216, I believe, in Anthem. Oh, that's a new thing. So they're using hashtag I believe in Anthem to sort of rally the player base behind the game. So maybe there is a player base that really does care about whether this game lives or dies. Anthem lives or dies. So in terms of top posts, and like I've been to this subreddit off and on over the course of the last couple of years, this is sort of the most I've seen on this page in terms of upvotes and active people, and I think that's related specifically to sort of the current events. So I have no doubt that there are people that still play Anthem and enjoy it and want to see this game continue. I think for the most part, though, if we're looking at other games like Destiny, as much as people give that game shit for, like, players never really left Destiny. Like, even in vanilla Destiny 1, that game always had a player base that attached to sort of the core fundamentals of what made that game great in terms of the shooting and the gameplay loops and all that good stuff. Like, there was something there. There was some meat there. There was some schmeat there that players connected with, and in terms of just, like, grinding content and finding new things. There was sort of an excitement, an element of mystery that was attached to that game that Anthem just doesn't really have. So I don't know, man. Like, I would love to see Anthem. Here's what I think they should do. I think it's fair for them to just be like, look, this is what we've been working on. We just don't have the resources to continue putting our time and our effort and our energy into what is a live service game. They don't have the resources, I don't think, to keep this game alive and active. We've seen that even when all hands were on deck in the very beginning, they couldn't produce updates fast enough, right? And so, yeah, I think it's time, and the sunlight has sort of come to an end. The ship has sailed. You know, it's time to say la vie. Let them make Dragon Age 4 into all that it can be. I don't want to see Bioware go away. I think they're a great studio, and they need to. They really need Dragon Age 4 to be good. So I say, let's put a pin in Anthem. Maybe close the chapter completely, and let's move on. Let's move on. All right, so that's all for that one. What are your thoughts on Anthem? Do you want to see it stick around? Do you think they should just cut ties and move on? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you. See ya.